Okay, so welcome everybody. This is our last night of the Virginia Pumpkin Growers Association's educational sessions. Thank you for joining us for the past several weeks. Tonight we are joined by Jennifer Poole from the Virginia Agricultural Growers Association, who will be sharing a little bit about the association with us and maybe some stuff about H2A. Hopefully, if you have any questions for her, she'll be able to answer those for you. And I'll go ahead and let her get started. And Jennifer, you just tell me whenever you're ready for me to move slides.
Okay. You can, of course, go to the first one. But I'm Jennifer Poole, and I appreciate the offer to speak to you guys tonight. And I noticed that there was one person who joined that is a member of VEGA. And I hope that maybe some other people will have an interest or at least learn more about the H2A program and what it can provide for you. So VEGA is a joint employer association. It was established in 1980 by Southside tobacco growers. It is a nonprofit organization and currently has approximately 200 members. You can go to the next one. Some of the benefits of VEGA membership is that once you're certified, you may share H2A workers with other VEGA members. We can also transfer workers from one farm to the other if there are times where you're not as busy as maybe your neighbor or someone else in the association. This, of course, saves on the cost of filing, the cost of the housing if you share housing for the workers. It is a good bit of savings compared to using private agents. There are a lot of agents that file job orders for H2A in the state of Virginia, but Virginia Agricultural Growers is one of the very few joint employer associations in the United States. And we can go to the next. So the H2A program is agricultural temporary seasonal job offers. This program was designed because there were not enough U.S. workers willing, able, and available for the jobs. And any grower that's been in the business very long knows that it is very difficult to find U.S. workers that want to work in this type of crop. So for this reason, we started that. We have the H2A program. We do have to offer these jobs to U.S. workers before filing the H2A job orders. We also have to advertise for these jobs and accept any U.S. workers that apply for up to 50% of our H2A contract. So it's not saying that we don't want to hire U.S. workers. It's saying that they're not available for us. And for that reason, the government allowed us to come up with the H2A program. In the H2A program, we bring workers that are here legally to the U.S. from other countries to work for us. So you can go to the next slide. How do I become a VEGA member and get H2A workers? It's pretty simple. Complete a membership application, pay $350 membership dues to VEGA, and provide us with proof of workers' compensation insurance. You can go to the next. Request workers, have your housing approved, and that consists of your water being tested. The Virginia Department of Health has to come out and inspect your camp and your septic system. And then the Virginia Employment Commission would have someone in your area to come and inspect the camp as well and tell you the number of occupants that your camp would provide for. Next. And so here I've just listed the cost associated with bringing the workers in. A lot of people ask that, and I know that's the biggest question in people's mind today is what is it going to cost me? And so these are the actual fees for this year, and $215 per worker is the total. $100 per grower. So for each farmer, it's $100. And I told you earlier the membership dues was $350. The Department of Labor, as you can see, if you can actually see the thing, the Department of Labor charges us fees, and we pay those. The facilitator fee is like the recruiter in Mexico that actually finds or locates the workers and arranges all their paperwork to get them to the consulate. And then Vega only charges $75 per worker for each worker that we bring in. All of these costs are paid on your behalf and billed to you directly in one bill. So you don't have to deal with any of the expenses that are shown here, except for Vega, we bill those out to you directly. So I'm ready for the next. Other costs associated would be the housing. The housing is provided to the workers at no cost to them. So you pay all of the expenses for the housing, the light bill, and whatever other utilities. You're not responsible for things such as telephone or television, that kind of thing. Some of our growers do provide those type things, but that's not a requirement. Inbound and outbound transportation, and it's approximately $1,000 per worker. And normally it's more to get the workers here than it is for them to go home. And that's because we have to pay a visa fee, which is $190. But it's usually about $500 to $550 coming in and approximately $350 going home. It depends on how they go home. But I just gave kind of an estimate at $1,000 per worker. Then you're responsible for transportation to and from the grocery store weekly and to and from the job site. So that was some of the things that are costly aside from their wages. Next. Become a member today and let Vega do all the paperwork, and call you when your men are on the way. So I don't know if some of you maybe have some questions that you'd like to ask about the program or about exactly what the association does more specifically for you. I'd be happy to answer anything I can.
There's just a couple of us on here tonight. So if anybody wants to just unmute and ask the questions, you can, or of course you can always type them in the chat box and make sure that we discuss them. I did want to bring up something that might be on some folks' minds is, do you have any sort of requirements that might be growers might be having to do this year, unlike of COVID stuff, that maybe they wouldn't have to do in a normal
year? Not really. There are not a lot of different requirements other than, being cautious, just like we are, having to go out places. We recommend to our growers that maybe they offer to have one worker to go and pick up their groceries for the week so that everybody's not going out, and of course to wear a mask and that kind of thing. But as far as I know, housing and everything is pretty much the same. There's a lot of requirements so far as the employers in general, not just H2A employers, but employers in general are required to provide a lot of information to workers. And so we provide all of that information when the workers are coming in to our growers, to give out to the workers and make them aware of what's going on. And it's all in their language as well as in our language.
Okay, that was kind of one of my questions, was about training, like if there was additional training that had to be
Yeah,
done.
and that is something that the association does for our growers, is we provide, anytime there are any new posters that come out or any new, and annually we give them posters and tell them what needs to be done. These things need to be done for you to be in compliance.
Mhm.
And so anytime there are any new issues that come up during the season, we would mail out those packages or have the growers to come and pick up the packages so that they have that and can provide their workers with the proper training.
Okay.
So that's one of the services association provides.
That takes a little bit of the headache away from the grower, I think.
Yes.
A lot of it, actually. So.
Yeah.
Do any of you that are on here have any questions for Jennifer right now? And I know that I am recording this, so those of you who watch this later on the YouTube link, I'm sure you could probably send the questions to me. I don't know, Jennifer, if you wanted to give out your email, it would be okay if they sent
That's
you
fine.
questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it on the PowerPoint?
It was not, and I probably should have put that on there.
I can put it in the email with the link. So I'll send that out to make sure that everybody has a way to email you in case
Okay.
Additional questions.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem.
Okay. Was there anything in regards to changes from the H2A program this year that I know somebody asked me about wages? That might be. Is there anything like that?
That's what I was going to say. Always the big question is what are the wages for this
right.
year? And so for the H2A program, we pay the higher of the three of the minimum wage, the prevailing wage, or the adverse effect wage rate. Currently, the higher of the three is the adverse effect wage rate. And for the 2020 year, that rate was $12.67. It has not officially been published for the 2021 year, but I can almost bet you that it's going to be $13.15 per hour.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be a question that would.
And it should be published in 2 weeks.
Okay.
By the end of the month.
Do any of you all have any burning questions before? I know this meeting was a little shorter, but it was pretty direct to the point, and I wanted to make sure you all knew about the Vega and that you could get in touch with Jennifer if you were interested in that or had any additional questions about it, if you might already use the association.
We actually have a number of growers in your area, and some have been members for many, many years, and some not quite as many years.
Yeah, I did. I was kind of aware of that, so thought it might be good to see if there's anybody else out there. I know this is continually what people bring up to me as one of the biggest issues is labor. So
right,
letting you guys know of some options at least to consider, that would be helpful. So I really appreciate your time tonight and for putting together the PowerPoint and everything. Thank you all for joining. If there aren't any more questions, before we close out, I do want to make a request of you all that are watching that you can fill out an evaluation of the meetings that you have attended throughout this series. I would want to post a link in there for the survey. It should only take you less than 5 minutes. And it will, help the association as well as extension when we're trying to put these programs together for you all, just to make them better and make sure that we're covering the type of information that's important for your operations. So I'm going to go ahead and post that in the chat really quickly so that you can copy and paste that if you are able to take that for us, we would greatly appreciate it. And I'll be sure to send that out in an email for everybody too, that wasn't able to join us live tonight. But Jennifer, I really thank you for your time, and you might be getting additional questions later after some folks watch the recording. So.
Okay, you're also welcome to give them my phone number if they prefer to call and talk by phone. I know
Okay.
people are not as familiar with the computer and
Yeah.
talk to them.
Okay, I'll do that, and I'll be sure that I send that out. I can go ahead and put that in the chat box. It's
.vaga@gmail.com.
All right, and there's the email in case anybody on right now. I'll send this all out in email as well. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
You.
Yeah,
I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, we all do too. So I'm going to go ahead and I will close this out for the night. But like I said, if you have any additional questions, just let me know. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.